I saw in the Bible, if we look at the Judges, look at the book of Judges, then what is written in the Bible. You look closely at my word today and know that you will do what you have been called to do on earth. If we look at the book of Judges chapter 13, look at what is written in both sections.
There was a man named Manohar, a native of Swara, who had no son because his wife was barren. For this woman,
this Dandan, which is written, reduce the repetition a little bit of what was written, which is written, Dan, which is the son of Jacob, is written of his family. You need to understand where we are going from, and the whole thing is happening. Mano was a man whose wife was barren, and she is talking about what happened to the barren. You will be told a story today. Listen carefully if today's word is God's mind. You will understand everything why it is not happening, why it is happening. What if you can't grow? When you grow up, how far will you reach? You will understand everything, yes.
the angel of the wind appeared to the woman and said, "Listen, you have no child because you are pregnant, but now you will conceive, and you will have a son. So now be careful that you do not drink wine, honey, or any other kind of drink."
Listen, there was a barren woman who didn't have a child. What happened to her? We have heard in the Bible that people asked for vows, but what happened here? The angel came straight to the angel. He says, you will give birth to a child. Now listen carefully. Yes.
Now therefore take heed that thou drink neither wine nor honey, nor any other strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. For thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and shalt not come upon his head. Why? He will be God's servant from birth.
Nazir, Nazir, word has come. Nazir will remain Nazir. Where God will remain Nazir from birth to death is written in it. And what is this example? Nazir word, Yekon Hebanj, wrote to the woman, who is that you will give birth to a son, and that from birth to death, it is not written for a lesson from birth to death. If it is written that he will remain Nazir, then what is Nazir? Who is Nazir? What does Nazir mean? Nazir means holy people. Nazir means powerful Nazir. Examples are milestone Nazir, i.e. people like God. Nazir who talks to God, i.e. life in his words, holiness in his breath, his speaking is life. They call him Nazir. If God speaks to the earth, he will speak to Nazir. Those who do not have the power to do so are those who do not have the power to do so. And what are you not to do? Don't drink alcohol. And what is the wine made of? I will explain to you directly. Just as wine is made from grapes, it is written that you should not even touch the grapes. You can understand. We eat grapes, but it is written that you should not touch its vine, even the tree. Why do you have to go to purity? purity is a small level, why will the one you have to create be seen? Nazir means a big mission. Big mission, very big mission that God sends Nazir whenever He wants to do a mission on earth. When they are created, it is written about them. And if we look in the Bible about this Nazareth, what Jehovah says about it, if we look at the book of Numbers about Nazareth. If we look at what is written in chapter 6, you should also note it carefully. It is very big. It will change your descendants, children, elders, everyone. This chapter, this is the mind of that powerful God. Yes, then.
Yahweh told Moses,
Who said no prophet, no common man? Yahweh spoke to Moses. Do you know everything, Moses?
what about the Israelites?
Speak to the Israelites.
When a man made a vow of a female Nazir, that is, this happened to himself.
If a man or woman asks for a vow for Nazir, do you make a vow that our child should be read? It should be. By writing, you will ask for a vow for Nazir. And what you read earlier is the opposite. What was that barren woman there? It is written that the milk of heaven came to him. One thing is asking for a vow. She is not asking for a vow about Nazir, but she sent heaven milk. What will be born here will be Nazir. This has become different. It is written here, who will ask for a vow. What do you want to ask for? Yes.
That is, he made a special vow to separate himself for the wind. Then that vine honey remains separated from Madara today. That's not honey. And drink no vinegar of vinegar, and drink no vinegar of grapes, and eat no grapes, whether they be green or dry, until they are separated from their seed in the day of harvest. Do not eat anything that is produced by the stain until the peel.
This is what Yahweh God says. The skins of Moses are not the skins of grapes, and they become vines. Even the bark of his tree should not touch him. This is forbidden to those who are asking for vows for Nazir. Yes, ahead.
On the day of victory, a person should not go near any corpse until they are separated for the air.
Who not to go to? Don't go near a dead body. He forbids it. The one who is Nazir's parent is forbidden. He doesn't want to go near a corpse. Why not under any circumstances?
Whether his father or mother
What if the mother dies?
or brother.
Or my brother died.
My sister passed away.
My sister also died.
So now let him not be unclean because of it.
He remains. It won't pass. If it goes, it becomes impure. Refer to Nazir instructions.
For the sign of his separation to his God shall be upon his head.
If he doesn't go, the signs are on his head. He will always be. Yes.
All the days of his separation he shall sanctify it to the wind, in case anyone dies suddenly near it.
Listen to him if he suddenly dies somewhere. If he dies, wherever he goes, wherever this happens to him, then listen, you have heard this story many times if I would have told it the way you have heard it.
And the mark of his closeness that is upon his head shall be unclean.
He will become unclean.
That is the day of purification.
If he as a dead body dies, suddenly he becomes impure. Who am I talking to? Nazir was counted so holy. So on a holy level, God is watching him. This is what God says. This is the level of Nazir to Moses, yes.
So that is the day of purification, i.e.,
in order to be clean.
on the seventh day he shaved his head clean.
Then he wrote, never let it go on his hair. What should he do if he becomes clean? They cut their hair, then cut their hair.
And on the eighth day he shall bring two young pigeons unto the priest unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
Look at this. Take care of this line. If it becomes impure, what will you have to do? He had to be sacrificed because that was the law. So what will happen to the sacrifice? He will give both burnt offering and sin offering. Then what will happen?
And this day the one is a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering to make atonement for him.
He is indeed a sinner, a true sinner. Papa stopped. Why? Because he went from Lot, he died near him. Someone where he went somewhere where someone died near him. I am telling you this very deeply because this is the part. Could you explain why? That's the sequence of events.
And the priest shall reconsecrate his head on the same day.
Then the priest will consecrate him, shave him, offer his sacrifice, go to God, and then he will be consecrated. That is, if there is power in it, that power will never go away. It will remain forever. Why on that? Because God has given these instructions. It is written, yes.
When the days of the Nazarene's sojourn end, his statute will be stated as follows.
Speak.
It shall be brought to the door of the tabernacle, and it shall be made an offering to the Lord.
Did you see today? So much for Nazir. There are instructions that Nazir will be something that will have to be connected with God if he went somewhere. I need to know if I should go or not. If he is saying something, he should know whether I say something or not. God is in every one of Nazir's going, eating, sleeping, walking, working. Pay attention to prayer. God has given instructions for him. God has given instructions for him. But what was it that you have heard? What I have heard so far? If we read about an example that we have heard. You have also read, so we see in the book 16 of Nazir Agar 12:33, verses increase. Look at what is written in the first verse.
Then the crematorium went to Gaza, and he was one.
Listen. Samson. Have you heard, or has anyone heard of Samson in the Bible? Yes, no. What is written here? Where did Samson go in the first verse?
Kaja went.
He went to Gaza.
He saw a prostitute and went to her.
Who was the crematorium that went to a prostitute whose mother and father were given instructions? You just read 13.
Yes?
You read in 13, those who had heaven milk. Well, if we read the first year of chapter 13 of 13, you listen.
This railroad did evil in Yahweh's sight again. So Jehovah gave them. Kept for 40 years in the year of...
What did God plan for the Israelites being enslaved for 40 years? Now God's people are slaves. You've become a slave to anything, be it debt or drink. In that thought, take care now and failure now. The same time message goes to God, and God arranges to redeem you. Take care of how you write the thing. Here is your first. In the year chapter, we see the first year written when the Israelites became slaves. God redeemed them. Chapter 2, which is the year 2 of 13, is written in it, that Nazareth one. God made arrangements and an angel came down to earth. The angel came down to earth and said, come, who is the devil? And see to whom I have given the devil. And what does the angel of God say? This will be the Nazir, who will be your son. And his father, if you read it, it is written that then he called, the father said again, let the angel be called again. The angel came twice, read that you have come to heaven milk twice, and heaven milk has come and is saying that this will be Nazir who is going to come to your house, Nazir. And the angel also asked his father about the instructions. How shall we raise him? How to raise it? What to do? He was told everything. But what happened? What did we read in the first year here in 16? Where did this Nazir, whose name was Samson, go? Went to the harlot. It says went to the harlot. Was God thinking this about Nazareth? Where God arranged for the Israelites to redeem the Israelites who had been enslaved by God for 40 years. Shall I send a Nazarite who will be able, whose words will be deliverers, who will accomplish the great plan, who will work according to my mind and deliver my people from that slavery? See in 2 and 3. What is written? Yes, yes.
When the people of Gaza heard that Samson had come here, and they compassed him round about, and lay in wait for him all night at the gate of the city, saying, we will slay him in the morning.
Yes, yes, yes.
Samson lay till the stormy night, and he arose in the stormy night. He grabbed both the legs and both the arms of the gate of the city, and plucked them with slaps, and put them on his shoulders, and carried them to the top of the mountain that is before Brown.
Look at the Nazarene about whom God spoke. He is sending the angel by planning himself. And when you read about Nazir, you will feel that he looks like a headstrong guy. There is nothing like this. How do you think this is? Are you going to study for 3 or 4 years? You will understand what happens when there is a big gap between you and your life. And there is a gap in the middle of your ministry. When there is a big gap in the middle of your family, what is the name of that gap? Why is there such a thing as a Nazir who is holy and who gives life? Where did the one whose name is similar to God, who talks to God, go? Went to the harlot and wrote that the people of her city wanted to kill her, and that she in the city. There used to be a big gate. It was uprooted and taken away. That means if you read it carefully, you will feel like a headstrong person who is doing whatever his heart wants. Look at it ahead. See what is written in chapter 14 of 19.
Then the Spirit of Yahweh came mightily upon him, and he went to Ashkelon and slew 30 men there, and plundered their wealth, and gave 30 pairs of garments to the former teller.
This was Nazir. His name was Samson. It went somewhere. It was a wedding text of it. And there was a puzzle on it. He told 30 of his friends about the puzzle. And they understood that riddle. He had to give them clothes there. He had to give the price. So what did he do? He went, and what did he do when he went to the schools?
He killed 30 men and robbed them of their property. Give 30 pairs of clothes to the puzzle solver.
Look what Nazir is doing. He is looting. He is stealing people. He is stealing. What did Nazir do then? He killed 30 people. Why did he kill them? Why steal their clothes just for clothes? Because he had spoken a riddle and had to give him the auspicious of that riddle. Just because you think it's godlike things to you? Why is this happening? If you read 14 of 56:89, you'll see another one here.
Then Samson took his father and mother to Timnah, and came to the threshing place of Timnah. And there a lion roared before him. Then the spirit of the wind came mightily upon him, and there was nothing in his hand. Then he tore him apart like a goat.
Yes, a lion roared ahead and killed him.
And he told his mother or his father the name of this deed. And he went and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson. After a few days he returned to fetch her, and turned on the road to see the lion's lot. Did you see that there is a swarm of bees and honey in the lion's lot? Then they ate some of it in their hands.
Listen closely. 30 killed, but what does Jehovah say about Nazareth? If you leave the people in your house, if your father, mother, and sister also die, then you will become holy. Take care. But yeah, what's going on? Nazir is killing 30 people, stealing, killing an animal, killing a chair, taking out the honey from inside his lot and eating it. He said here, and if any man fall unto thee, thou art unclean, thou shalt have thy hair cut off, thou shalt give it, and thou shalt be unclean until the priests cleanse thee. But what is this guy doing? He is beating violently. Who is this Nazir stealing, and who is this Nazir about whom God himself is sending the angel? On the one hand, this story is going on where the angel is coming, and his mother will be Nazir. You have to be so careful. What is Nazir doing by coming here, going to prostitutes, killing people, robbing, stealing, killing animals, and extracting honey from inside them? Do you think God has failed? Come here and listen carefully. If God wrote in the year 13, if we read in the first year that he became a slave, then God made arrangements. But what happened? Let me bring you to the exact point. This is the example of who is giving the news. The angel is giving. The angel is speaking. Be alert. This is going to happen in your home. But what's going on? Did heaven milk make a mistake? Did God spread there? God keeps an eye on every such example with great hope. He gives and sends the gift to every Nazir. But keep in mind that Nazir means powerful. Nazir means so holy. Thai Nazir can be anyone. Listen carefully. But if you do not have your leader full of Mahabhishek, then Nazir will also do such acts and it will spread. Why? Because he doesn't know. How do I walk? How do I grow? How do I live in my life? Who do I flow with? Who do I eat with? I have to save my power until he knows it. God will also speak about you. God will send you to this earth. Why would you spread? Because your leader, your powerful mathematician will guide you. How can you do it if you don't have the ability? So you will work by becoming a Nazir with Mahabhishek, Jesus. I speak. Who is a Nazir? You are a Nazir. You are a Nazir. Why? Why? Because you stand with that call of God and that mission for which you have death. But still you stand with sorrow, you still stand. You are Nazir because you are even in the kitchen. You have family grief. Your children are beating you, yet you are carrying on with that mission, the mission of God. You are seen spreading in the eyes of God every day. Continuous, nothing is happening, yet you are speaking or Ledokia Yahweh Zindabad, this happy Jai you Nazir. I am speaking to you, Nasir. You think I am not able to do anything here? I am listening, oh God. Why are you in that heaven by putting your photo and making a slot on it? Because you're interested in him. You are holding on to that vision, that call, that mission of God. Whatever happens to God, I will not leave. I will not back down, whether I am spreading, whether I am passing, whether nothing is happening in my life. God is crying and saluting you, Subhash Shah. Because it has happened here in the Bible, those on whom there was hope turned out to be robbers. How did they turn out to be thieves? For God had sent them to the earth to say, go, you are Nasir, redeem my people. But they could not redeem them, not now. They were so entangled in their own troubles. They did not understand what I have to do, where I have to speak, where I have to walk. God is watching you day and night, day and night. Do you think my illness is not going away? Do you believe I'm heavily in debt? Do you think I'm overwhelmed with responsibilities? I was unable to manage what was necessary in my life? Let me tell you, by holding on to that mission, God is honoring your efforts. Killing. Why God's eye? In you.
Be Nazir.
You Nazir, God is yours. Respecting like this, respecting like this. Something better than Nazir. Why? Because they were Nazis. They have fallen. The ones that were there were spread. If you look carefully, you will be amazed when you see the works of the Nazir whose name came to heaven. Not even Nazir. Personal life. Don't stay here, wife. Look if you want. Chapter 15 details his reunion with his wife after 2 years and 456 days, and the surprise reveals. This is the Nazir. It was Samsung, his wife. Why? Why? Her father married her to someone else. But after a few days, in the days of wheat harvest, Shimshar took a kid of a goat and went to his wife's house. Yes, and said, I will go to the closet with my wife. Listen, I tell it directly when my wife has her. Father, mother. Upon arriving, her father forbade his entry, declaring, you cannot meet my daughter. He explained, she is now married to your friend. Is this truly the life of Nazir? Does his wife's narrative align with what his father documented in the Bible? If you consistently beat him every single day, where exactly are you demonstrating your superiority over your wife? Nazir, Nazir, a name that echoes twice. What exactly did his father do in order to marry off his daughter, meaning this Nazir's wife? Of this, I did it with a friend. She got married and moved on. Then what's next? Do you often indulge in extensive reading? What you have made famous. If the chap, we are 16. From 4. Do you see that name over there? The most renowned instance is when you went to him. And what exactly is happening there? What exactly is Nazir saying? Tie me up, he says. I will leave like this. Then I wrote, tied with ropes. Then I wrote, tied with ropes. Then I wrote, him. He gently tapped the hair embedded in the bark, after which he released it. Subsequently, he proceeded to cut his hair. What is happening? He is completely oblivious to what the wind is communicating. Who desires to take my life? Is his wife her? Not near. And what about another individual? If you really need to read the entire chapter. Reading justice. From 13. Did you read the details of 1617 thoroughly? If you will come, will you see? So this, wherever you decide to go might be a mistake. Went to work. There were approximately 300 individuals present. Killed 1,000 people. He killed and subsequently murdered 3,000 others. What caused all these events to unfold? Regardless of whether you're a Nazir, the correct decisions you make in your life will always guide you. Therefore, even as an example, it will be futile to provide you with the appropriate spiritual guide. A specific course of action. Provided you have the benefactor, it's not. Are you not able to traverse the earth? That's why I'm not speaking. You come to me. That's why I speak. Am I helping thousands of individuals? I encounter thousands of individuals every day. If you succumb to defeat and become despondent about it, nothing significant has occurred in my life. Yet I participated in Mahabhishek 4 times and went on pilgrimage 5 times. I am addressing you 10 times. Your life will continue to unfold beautifully until you reach your destination. You have to live on earth. You have to live. You must keep progressing to advance, just as I mentioned, by the grace of God in heaven. You and I are connected through the divine blessing granted by Mahavishak. After reading deeply, I was moved. I'm speaking the truth. I observed an individual whose life was profoundly touched by God.
Plan. God to him. Launch.
What is the reason behind God's creation of him?
Because of him.
They were known to be Israeli people.
40 of the year.
He was kept in servitude, and
God definitely had a unique plan. Now, I'm definitely going to keep a watchful eye out. You've been located in the Jess area, born in Jess town within the village of Jess, situated in the expansive Jess region. Have you happened? Of God.
his detailed map is available for you.
Has been done. Do you believe that's the reason why my service isn't flourishing? Why aren't my financial resources growing? Because I'm in the village.
I should be in the city. The townsfolk think, oh, me village, because they are straight. People, where there's a lot of rush, he thinks that I don't have a place here where there is no space.
He believes he must navigate through the rush, and I'll guide you on the path. The place of your birth origin was done. And you stand up. Completed already. It's embedded within the divine map, which is why God crafted you there.
Pay attention and heed.
My point.
Should your map, if it's intended for a Nazir,
God did make it happen.
for the last 20, 40 years, when his people became enslaved, he sent Nazir to them. What are your thoughts about God's chosen ones here on earth? Today we are under Satan's control. Did he send you any less than Nazir? Why do you consider yourself better than Nazir? Because you hold your hand out. Mahabishek Barasata. When will you act? You approach the evil spirit's power and make contact with it.
Also from Nazir.
May God always be good to you. Heaven communicates daily. I am a diligent observer.
It's not a significant issue. This is what I've observed.
By keenly observing.
Also, he was a Nazir.
And it is written that throughout his entire life, from birth to death, he shall appear as if without hair.
Cut away.
He didn't complete it. He established his system. Yahweh requires a sacrifice.
Home. Sacrifice in sacrifice, you are holy. Will you go?
The power will continue to flow indefinitely. However, it is his system. Upon careful inspection, it is evident here. The tale spread far and wide, but why? He lacked a comprehensive roadmap filled with significant events.
That's why it spread.
He didn't know.
What exactly am I talking about? And what actions am I supposed to take?
Where on? To kill someone? Did he know that? What specific instructions does Nasir have? Nevertheless, it occurred to him.
Oh! He took an action that he definitely should have avoided. You don't understand.
Be eager to embrace your talents. Be a shining example to others. You have progressed significantly. You have established a grand ministry, but you might not be able to do that particular thing, nor reach that specific goal. Wherever God has destined you to be, in order to attain that place, you must persistently and eternally remain in the divine anointing, so that you may grow up following a divinely ordained path.
I'm like that. Is doing nothing is happening. I have been serving for so many years, but nothing is happening. I am expanding my efforts, initially having 5 people, then reducing to 4, next having 3, and finally realizing I'm alone with no words to say, leaving you solitary.
In God's eyes, you are more precious than thousands. So why do you stand uncertainly? God has spoken one truth about you. The God of heaven takes immense pride in you. Observe my servant. Observe me.
O chosen handmaiden, my devoted servant, these individuals hold a higher place than Nazir in my perspective, for they did not seek a mission that carries out my purpose. We were in the midst of conversation while I was in Africa. What sights greeted me there? Who might be present? Children under the age of 12 were under the care and guidance of their mothers and fathers. Please let them leave. They're heading out because I made a request. That's it. Why are you departing? He mentioned it would be for 3 days. I understand that dry fasting signifies not consuming any liquids for 3 days. This one. Young children under the age of 12 will reside in elevated regions and they won't have access to food. There will be no access to drinking water for a whole 3 days. What will you do? They will pray. We shall pray constantly and question our capabilities. If you are feeling the oppressive heat today, remember that it is winter, and these are indeed our children's experiences. I'll inform you if you haven't been notified up to now. Nazir will inevitably also fail. It is evident that such a mother and father were present here. He witnessed the presence of angels and had conversations with them.
Told. It was like that.
Doing so, but did they fail? Why did the mother and father also expand their influence? Because during his formative years, he experienced solitude. As a young child, when Banja's boundaries were shattered, his mind was overwhelmed with everything. I accomplished it, and so did that child. So much. Spoiled. He possessed the ability to communicate with the divine. Going doesn't really signify much to him. Always remember your beloved children. Your dear ecclesia, children of your worship. If you will ensure to keep him distant from the Mahabishek. So Nazir, they will also fail. Kindly be mindful of me. What you urgently need today is to bring them to the anointing, explaining that you are a Nazirite, a chosen one, destined to push forward and become powerful. No matter what you do in your business job world, you must be an example so that God can talk to you. God can talk to your children. If not, what consequences will unfold? Last time you found yourself raising children alone. Everything. You will raise the financial obligation and ensure it is settled on them. So what action will you take eventually? You'll have the opportunity to see for yourself. Why? Because we did not inform them that this was an issue. Nazir refers to God's misled individual communicating with the divine, while God's ally emerges among your offspring. Very much indeed need. If you lack strength within your household, externally, in your offspring, or among the elderly, then Nazir will still find you in the abode of a courtesan. It was Nazir who proclaimed he would be the chosen one. However, everything was disrupted due to its spread. You shall never disseminate it. Your descendants will recognize the significance of this matter. Today, I provide you with my words. I am consecrating you individually within your congregation and within your residence. It will be Nazir. Nazir will be Nazir, Nazir, Nazir. Your children will serve as a remarkable example for you because you are an exemplary figure for God. He has accomplished this in the presence of God, inspiring life's direction. It was God who genuinely required it. Yours, about children, about you, in your ecclesia, about, he is observing attentively. Yes, when it stays in Mahabishek and I find out I will have a conversation with them. When you complete all your tasks, children for you. Remember, no matter how big the gift, no matter how big your call, no matter how big the ministry you are running, doesn't matter, does matter you. Are you able to recognize the gift that God has bestowed upon God Himself? Do you believe that I am completely incapable of doing anything? Do you think about the moment when I look at you? They inform me that it has spread. Yes, indeed, nothing significant has occurred in the last 5 or even 10 years. I laugh and feel a sense of comfort because I get to hear this repeatedly.